Welcome to Rodney Anderson Live. Man, I hope everybody's week has started off on the right foot. My Monday yesterday was busy, but it's all good. We're in Tuesday now. If you're just joining us, or if you've never seen this show before, if you're like, what is he doing up there? This is a show where we talk about questions, comments, concerns, all things OU sports, all things period. But as I always say, I am not a licensed therapist. So, man, we're going to get into it. Got a lot to cover today. All right. Rodney's starting five. Just some quick things around the world that are happening in sports. Some to do with OU and, OU Oklahoma-related things. Sometimes it's just things out there in the sports world. Appreciate everybody for hopping on as y'all hop on. Again, a show where we talk about all things sports, OU related. Number one in my starting five, Future Freaks. Talking about the 2027 recruiting class, that is. Man, Jim Nagy and his crew are cooking. Let them cook, as the kids say. So we moved up to number one in the polls, in the recruiting class polls, this past weekend. BG, wasn't it because of the QB, Jamison Roberts?
He was part of it, yeah.
Part of the reason why?
Mm-hmm. Got the tight end, too. Like 4 or 5 star tight end also commit.
He's like the number one guy in Kentucky or something like that?
I think so. It's
been so weird, like watching recruiting evolve as a former athlete myself, just because it is just so much more intense and so much, it matters to people. It's like a huge thing. And I get why. These are the kids that have committed to, come to this university and playing football for, however many years they're here. I get the hype and the excitement. But what I mean is, like, it's just been so crazy to see. I feel like some fans get so into it. It's like, man, I know how this kid likes his eggs prepared in the morning. And it's like, whew. Okay. But nah, we have a great recruiting class. Like I said, Jim Nagy's doing his thing. I was just chatting with Caleb Kelly, recording our podcast, The Double Take, that will drop on Thursday. He was telling me about Future Freaks weekend and is Future Freaks weekend like the same as Junior Day?
That's what it is. Yeah.
It's Junior Day?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was telling us about how Junior Day was going. I guess we call it Future Freaks. And he was just saying how much more selective this staff is being and how much more pointed BV is with who he brings into the building, who gets certain access to what. Just for a quick story / example, when I was being recruited, whoever, they basically was like, hey, we're recruiting you, but we want to make it a great trip for you. So whoever you want to bring them, and they'll have the same experience that you have. And so I'd bring a couple of my friends, my whole family or whatever, and we would go to all these different facilities and we'd watch the games. We'd go to the practices or whatever. Everybody was a part of it. I just don't think that that's the best use of time because, there's just a lot of time that's wasted. There's only one person who's really important on that trip, and that's the recruit. And so now it just seems like now where it used to be, you end a game, it's a big recruiting weekend, and there's hella people in the locker room, just recruits and all their buddies and their families. Now it's just like if BV's kind of like, if you're committed, you can come into the locker room. If you're committed, you have all this access and this special, these special things. But if you're just thinking about it, if you're on the fence with us, yeah, we'll invite you. We're still interested, but we're not giving you all the behind the scenes. We're not showing you how the sausage is made for just sitting on the fence. And so I just, all that to say, I appreciate how BV has gone about the whole Future Freaks, Junior Day, his whole philosophy on recruiting, period. I mean, even if we look at it from a financial standpoint, a smaller recruiting class, or like not a smaller recruiting class, but when you're out there recruiting, maybe we're getting away from all the bells and whistles. Maybe it's more so about the hard conversations and we don't need to pay whoever we were paying to bring Lambos on the field to impress these recruits and host all these photo shoots and whatnot. Maybe because the money's involved, recruiting has gotten a little bit more serious, and now it's like more of a job interview type of a thing. I don't know.
I think it's a BV thing too, though. Like in his press conference yesterday, he said, these kids are coming here and they're committing. He said, very seldom does it come down to money, is like why they decide to come to OU. He said almost every single one of these dudes is choosing to come to OU because they say, this is what I want to make my forever home. This is where I want to be developed. This is where I want to get my shot at the league.
Yeah. It would make a lot of sense. Like, that's the mentality that BV came in with, that he's been holding, like he's dying on that hill. And I think everybody's like, man, make room. We'd love to die on that hill too, because it works. There's still a lot of value in development. It just looks different these days. Development looks a little bit different. And so, yeah, that's a great point. I think that is for sure why we're continuing to see a rise in our recruiting status.
I mean, how are you going to look and see like what Armace has been able to accomplish over his time here, what Taylor Wine's looking like he's going to be able to accomplish?
Right.
Even like Kip. I mean, you can go on and on. I mean, G-Baby's a good one too. I mean,
yeah. A lot of the guys in this recruiting class, or in this NFL draft class, are development guys that you didn't hear. Dude, he's not in this draft class, but Taylor Wine is the perfect example. You didn't have, who knew about Taylor Wine except for his family and his teammates before last year, this past season. And now there's a household name. Taylor Wine, like, we're excited for him to come back, won a lot of awards this year, going to be drafted pretty high if he has another good season this year. And so, yeah, BV definitely has figured something out. I hope that Jim Nagy continues to do his thing and their front office is fiscally smart, looking into the future, because, dude, I'm not jealous of his staff's job. Like, looking into the future and deciding, like, how are we going to get this money? Where's it going to come from? Who are we going to pay what? Oh, my gosh. That's how, I don't even know how he sleeps.
I mean, it feels like so far so good, right?
Yeah. No. Nacho Libre, appreciate you for hopping in the chat, being active. He had the point. I think Nagy having NFL experience helps. Like, I totally agree with that. I mean, we're talking about it at the college level because it's new to us, but this is something that Jim Nagy's been dealing with his entire career. And so I'm sure he's used to the fire. He's used to the heat, the pressure, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Recruiting is just so different these days. Like, I have to pause sometimes and just really think about, coaches used to not even be able to like follow us on social media because the rules were so strict. And now we're talking about money, contracts. Should we bring the Lambo to Junior Day or not? Like, it's wild. Things have changed. But that's life. Hello. If you're new to the chat, just hopping in, welcome. This is Rodney Anderson Live. We talk about all things OU sports. I'll take questions, comments, concerns. I'll give you the best answer I've got. Spoiler alert, it's just my opinion. So, Nacho Libre, what's good? Craig Air Force, OU in the house from Atlanta, ATL. Do they really got good football players out there in Georgia? Like, comparable to Texas, comparable to, I don't know, it's usually like Texas Texas, Florida, California. They really got ballers out there in ATL? I know the answer, but I like to stir the pot. Sooner Cowboy, what's up? OU ain't about the flash no more. Seems to be that way. But and it's like, why? Why? Do players, if I'm a recruit and I know that, money is flowing, but it's also, we're not living in abundance. And so do I really care about seeing the Lambo on a football field for a photo shoot? Or would I rather those dollars go towards my contract? Yeah, business interview for sure. I think I like the serious tone in recruiting. I think it should be that way. It almost seems, correct me if I'm wrong, BG, this is just my perception going through it and then kind of watching it from the outside after having been through it. It seemed like recruiting was like so serious. I remember I used to show up and be like, yes, sir, no, sir. Oh, yes, it's God, family, football. Yes, here's my GPA. Yes. No, I got to be in a class one time, but I swear I'm going to turn it around. It's like that serious, My parents were always so strict about, they were more so teaching me like how to act in a business. Like this was life lessons that they were teaching me, but even they were like their tone was like very serious in recruiting. And then it seemed to have gotten a little bit out of hand for a while. I was lucky to put a jersey on and like throw up the hand. There's a picture on my Instagram right now of I got to put on the Baylor jersey and I held up the little Sikkim Bears hand sign or whatever. And I was like, whoa, they let me see the jersey, touch the jersey, and then they let me put it on. Wow. And now it's like, man, they didn't even pull out the Lambos for my photo shoot. The hell? And it just, I don't know. It just seems like it got kind of silly. Like, what are we doing? You go to every single school and put on the uniform. That's whack. Like, I feel like we go from an era where you had to earn it to where now you just get to do it for the gram. And I get it, all in an effort to relate with this younger generation or whatever. But now I feel like it's getting serious because, money can only be serious.
Maybe just like more balanced.
Balance is
between the two, because I think there's definitely schools out there that are still doing the flashy.
Yeah.
They're all in on the,
because
the Lambos and all that.
Yeah, social media still does matter to a certain extent to these kids. I don't think it'll ever matter. Well, I was about to say, I don't think it'll ever matter more than money. But when social media is making you money,
I think there's definitely I think the way that OU seems to be going about recruiting is intentional as to the kind of players they're trying to attract to the program too.
Yes.
Right.
Like they want morally good guys that have bought in on the culture.
But also, hey, we see you. We know that you're this new generation. We know you value some of these things. We're not going to rob you of it.
Yeah.
We're not going to keep it from you. Mm-hmm. But it's not the most important thing you're going to be doing here.
Right. Yes. The Bible would say that there's a time and place for everything under the sun. And so I love the balance. That's a great point. I think that is more so what's on BV's mind, as opposed to just being serious ball coach all the time. That's probably what he is most of the time. But to your point, you do have to still relate to these kids on some level. Sean, good to see you. I remember that name, Sean Cohen. I agree. Year 2 of Ben Arbuckle's offense, I think as a fan base, we're starting to see the picture. Like I don't think BV was playing the short game at all. He said, I'm coming to OU to be a Bob Stoops type. I'm locked in for a long time. I'm not going to be any other type. Just going down the line here. We got a lot of participation. Nacho Libre, do I think Heineke still has a chance? Nah. I mean,
Jim said, I'll say this. Nagy said yesterday in his press conference, they haven't given up.
Yeah, which I think speaks to kind of what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Like we want a certain type of individual, not just player, like staff member, coach. We want a certain type of individual in the facility. And so, yeah, Jim and his staff and, coaching staff included, like, they're going to fight for their players because that's what they promised that they would do. They would invest in the players, develop them, fight for them, be on their team. Like, coaches and staff are a part of the team. And so I'd expect nothing less from them. And I'm sure Owen feels the love, like, dramatically. That being said, if I'm Owen and it's March 10th, pro day's coming up day after tomorrow, and then the draft is end of this month, start of next month?
April. It's
April, early April, whatever, mid-April, whatever it is. I'm thinking about that. I've participated in too much at this point that is post-college experiences. I may as well lock in and, like, head that way. And he's riding on the waves of a good story, like a blue-collar type of story, a guy that is ready to work, knows that he's going to have to prove a lot. He's got a lot to prove, which is fine. Like, he's a fighter. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't be surprised if he came back. There's tons of opportunity, but I kind of think, too, from a team's perspective, they are also probably planning, on not having Owen back.
Yeah.
We're too far down the line at this point.
That's what's so interesting. I think it underscores, like, how valuable Jim Nagy is.
Right.
Because he can, at the same time, go to bat for his guy to get his eligibility back. But I think while he's doing that and teams are coming to him and asking, like, hey, what's OU put in the draft this year? He's able to also confidently say, like, if he doesn't come back, you're going to get this, this, this. And you can trust me because I've been doing this for a long time.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think, like, how many other, and maybe we're in a bubble, and I'll admit that if we are, how many other college football GMs do we know? Like, their name?
I will say, I know I have heard of some, not a lot for sure. I know I've heard of a couple. So maybe, like, that's the bubble we're living in, where, like, I've heard of a couple, but I don't know that I would, when I did hear of them, I didn't get the same, like, oh shoot, Jim Nagy?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying is, like,
because also too, like, how many scouts, NFL scouts, and, analyst guys are, like, have, like, a reputation,
right?
That have, like Jim Nagy was kind of already known as, like, no, that's Jim Nagy's opinion. Like, he scouted that guy. Yeah, I think Jim Nagy he's just in a different arena, kind of a league of his own.
Right. It feels like it.
I can't think of another scout by name.
And maybe it's because we're OU, we're with OU, and so we know the OU GM's name. But I don't know.
I think there's probably a little bit of truth on both sides of that coin. Like, I think everybody lives in a bubble to some extent, but at the same time, you look around. Like, I don't know who the GM at Texas is. Have no clue. Couldn't tell you. I don't know who the GM at South Carolina, Auburn, LSU. Couldn't tell you. I have a little brother who is currently on a team, signed, contracted in the SEC. Couldn't tell you what his GM's name is.
Is he coming back next year?
Actually, no. He'll be back one day next year. And one day only. And he'll be wearing blue. Marge Jams 2 says Boomer.
Sooner.
And to that we say sooner. Chris Humphreys says that he's met me, which means I've met him. All right, man. Tons of interaction. Love talking to the peoples. I was hoping to find a follow-up from my ATL stir the pot comments.
There was someone said.
Oh yeah, Sooner Cowboys says that Georgia has got some good players. I know that, but
because they're from Georgia too, they said.
Oh, Sooner Cowboy is?
Yeah, Augusta.
Oh, from Augusta, Georgia. Bet. I see. I missed that comment. I don't doubt it. just not better than Texas. I mean, Texas, the state, as far as high school players go, not Texas, the school. All right. Let's go to number 2. I just want to touch on it real quick because it's crazy. And it makes me think of something in the college space. Dak Prescott, long story short, it's, there's trouble in paradise. Was supposed to get married next month in Italy, and he calls off his engagement the month before. The rumor, or the alleged cause, is because he wanted her to sign a prenup. He just signed a $280 million extension with the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. And I guess there was some dispute, and now they're not getting married. Whatever. I don't really care. I mean, I'm a fan of marriage. I'm a fan of committed relationships. I think that I'm always going to be rooting for another marriage or another committed relationship. But it does make me think, as these collegiate athletes get paid more and more and more and more, they're living in a social space as well. What protections are in place for these student athletes? We talk a lot about soul mission and the morals of this staff, and I already think that is a huge protection. We are at least investing in the morality of our guys, of our student athletes. But I hope that for whatever student athlete might see this, for whatever, parent might be watching that has little athletes that have dreams of making it big, just do some thought about protections for your athlete, or even for yourself. Conversations need to be had on the front end. That we talk a lot about growing these athletes up. You got to grow up socially too. People are going to be out for your money. I'm not saying that Dak's girl was. I don't know their situation like that, but it just made me think about, man, there's a lot of money flowing through the college space right now too for these players, and I hope that I just hope that they're thinking about themselves in that way. Just being a little bit smart about it. That's all I want to say about that. I'm sorry. I saw 4 Sooners Faith Work Soul Mission Battalion Dogs Nation salute, fam. It seems I see soul mission in there, so that ties in with what I was saying. That's why that comment caught my eye.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He comes down on the bottom and says, "This is Bishop. Your thoughts on NIL committee?"
You see anything about that?
I guess not. I'm unaware.
That one in Washington, D.C.
Oh, like a federal committee?
No, I mean, it had Saban, Urban Meyer, a lot of the conference commissioners.
What's their purpose?
Tim Tebow was on it to figure it out.
Okay.
A lot of criticisms I saw said no student athletes on the panel. Jim Nagy said yesterday in his presser, no GMs present. So I don't know.
Well, Bishop, apologies. I guess I wasn't put on about the NIL committee. Oof. I think just my first impression hearing it, it's a bunch of old guys. And it's I don't feel like that always turns out the best. Nick Saban quit, he stepped away from his job, retired gracefully. I'm not trying to talk any mess on Nick Saban, but Nick Saban stepped away from the game because he said he didn't recognize it anymore. Now you're going to come back and comment on something you don't know about, you don't recognize? That doesn't make sense to me. I agree completely. His experience could be useful for sure, but that needs to be paired with student-athlete representation. I agree with that. And I think if you're not going to put literal student athlete, like the literal student athlete voice up there, which is what I think is the best probably. If you're not going to do that, then GMs, the ones that are talking with the student athletes every day, there needs to be a student athlete voice in the mix. Isn't that where we went left in the first place? Like, which kind of took the student athlete voice out of it completely. No NIL at all. Y'all can't be paid. Oh well. The NIL committee, it don't sound like we're starting in the right spot. Man. Isn't that like the problem in politics kind of everywhere though? Like just a bunch of old farts sitting in office, not in touch with, well, a bunch of old rich farts sitting in office, making decisions to keep every other rich fart wealthy. Let's stay on track.
There you go.
Let's stay on track. I'm
Appreciate
sorry. I'm sorry. Let's hit some comments real quick.
Good call.
Reset. Harry James Taylor. Hot Rod. If not football, what other sport would you have played in college? I'm not going to lie. I was really fast. I think I could have been a sprinter, like a track guy. My dad was a basketballer. Basketballer. A basketball player. He played at West Texas A&M and then went on, was on the practice squad for the Golden State Warriors.
I didn't know that.
Or G League maybe, or
Still.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, he was like that's where I get my athleticism from. My father.
Was he as yoked when he was playing basketball?
No. So my dad's pretty yoked right now. He's my entire life he's been rocked up.
Yeah.
But no, he wasn't always. I know that from pictures.
Was he like skinny?
He was don't get me wrong, we have good genetics. Like
So
he's very like toned. He has always had muscle. He's never been like, oh, that guy's a $150 soaking wet. He's never been that guy. Very athletic looking, but dude could jump out of the gym. My mom sent a clip the other day, old newspaper clip of him like jump like in the air over somebody about a dunk. Back then, in the 80s.
Speaking of hoops, SGA.
Great transition.
There it is.
I'm gonna start calling you Caleb Kelly.
I was about to say I want to give it a shot.
Yeah, no. SGA just putting the nail in the coffin the other night. Could you help me with the record? What record is he going for?
20-point games, I think.
Okay. 12 is the record?
Oh no.
Oh, where was I? Okay.
Yeah, he's north of a buck.
120 is the record? It was Wilt Chamberlain's record. Is that what y'all were saying, though?
Yeah.
Wow. 126 is the record. And so he's at 120?
No,
he just tied it.
He's
Wow.
Tied. Yeah, he's tied. One more and he passes Wilt.
Dang. SGA has been so fun. I love having a good professional basketball team around. Like that's just been a fun thing to watch. How many years has he been in the league?
Thunder traded for him in 17. I think he got drafted, I want to say or maybe later than that, it was 19 maybe. I think he got drafted in 17.
He was a 2018 first round pick.
2018 first round pick. Wow.
Spent 1 year with the Clippers. Came to the Thunder the next year in that big Paul George trade.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It's just been fun to see new stars emerge in OKC over the last few years and the success that they're having, the finals championship. I hope he gets the record and continues to ball. Hey, whatever happened to there used to be a whole bunch, Russell Westbrook would come to our games and just chill on the sideline. We've had a couple of guys come.
Yeah, J-Dub came to a women's game not too long ago.
Yeah. See those types of cameos and crossover episodes, those are fun to watch. oh, Jada popped out at the women's game, or
Chet used to, I mean, maybe not this last year, but the year before,
Mm.
Chet would come to football games and stand in that end zone.
yeah. Oh my gosh, A little-
7'2" Chet just
Dude.
in front of you.
I'm gonna tell a story because I don't think it matters, but we obviously powered by Sooner Sports Properties. Like, this is a MMR product, multimedia rights, and so our traditional job has always been selling signage in the stadium, and it pisses our office off the most when we have like an OKC Thunder player come to a football game and they stand with their entire 7-foot frame and all their 7-foot friends in front of all the signage. We spend a lot of time, effort, and money putting those signs in spots where we don't think people are going to stand in front of them, and then 7-footers walk into the stadium and put all of our hard work to shame. Anyways, it's just funny. Spring ball started yesterday, but not traditional. This is the first year I've ever seen spring ball referred to as OTAs at the college level, which, we're moving towards the whole professional model, whoop-de-woo. But I like this more than strapping the pads on for a week and then going on spring break for a whole week and then coming back and strapping the pads on again. This seems to flow better. OTAs, for those that don't know, I have to look it up because in my head, it's optional training assessment. That's what a veteran in the league told me. It doesn't stand. It's optional for veterans, for some veterans maybe, but it actually stands for organized team activity. Not optional.
Not optional.
Especially not at this level, not optional. But it's basically in the league, right now you're in off season and it's not a structured off season. Like, they treat you like an adult. So you have to go do all of your own training. You figure out like where you want to train, who's going to be best to train you, nutritionists, all the things. And then you come back and they want to see, if their money has been working in the off season. And so, they may have given you like a certain time to make a certain number of sprints across the field, or, we want to see you being able to lift X amount of pounds, blah, blah. Like, they give you metrics to hit. And so as long as you can hit those metrics, they're not hard to hit. 10% of OTAs in the league, I would say, is like making sure that you look good, feel good, play good. The other 90% is just an excuse to put dudes out there on the field and run through plays and, start up, install, and those types of things. At this level, I think it's the perfect type of transition week. Then you get a break, and then you ramp up pads probably throughout the first week, in a safe way. And then by week 2, you're really hitting it. And you've installed a lot already because you had that week before spring break. So I don't know. I'm a fan of the new layout of spring ball. I'm also very excited this year for spring ball for all the reasons I've been saying. We've got a bunch of really impactful transfer portal gets that I'm excited to see. I think it was Nacho Libre that mentioned on here about the tight ends, maybe. Somebody mentioned on here about the tight ends, being excited to see them. I'm very excited. That's probably my most looked forward to position group to see. And, no. That wasn't what Nacho Libre mentioned. Nacho Libre mentioned that he's excited to see Ben Arbuckle's offense in year 2. Or maybe that was Sooner Cowboy.
That was our guy Sean on Facebook.
Sean.
We got there.
It was a walk, but I got there. Yeah, Ben Arbuckle's offense year 2. Like, we get the first sneak peek here in spring ball. We'll start seeing clips, I'm sure, in the spring game. Actually going to have a spring game. What do you think was on BV's mind? Last year, it seemed like it took one coach to be like, I don't want to showcase my guys. They're just going to get poached. And everybody freaked out and was like, we're canceling our spring game. Now I kind of feel like that maybe that wasn't as big of a deal as coaches thought.
Well, so last year we had the spring portal window.
Yeah.
We don't have it this year, and so you don't have necessarily the risk of balling out in the spring game and then turning and hitting the portal, a couple weeks later.
Yeah. So, I mean, adjusting the transfer portal window is definitely is going to help that. But
I think if I remember, it may have been like a tiny bit health related last year too for us. Of like,
well, yeah,
we maybe didn't have enough dudes that were like healthy, ready to go.
Because the year before that,
put up 2 teams.
We were struggling coming out.
Yeah,
coming out of that season
Yeah.
or finishing up that season, we were banged up bad.
Yeah.
And so I see that. Well, my boy Zip, he just came over the top. That you just let's stay healthy. Like, I think that's the name of the game, and I think that's for spring ball at least. That's the name of the game, and I think the new structure, how we're doing it, is going to keep the guys healthy. Like, that's the reason. And so, and we'll see about that running game. I see you, Zip. Erica, it's life. What up, dog? Appreciate the comments. Yeah. All right, man. We still got so much more to talk through. Oh, we didn't even talk about Parker. I hate the media. As I produce media. As I
we're different. We're different.
Yeah, but we're the cool media. Yeah, we don't. No, it's so stupid. Stoya, right? Took it out of context.
He didn't take it out. He's the one. I mean, he posted a quote.
The quote was the quote was.
The quote didn't have maybe a full context.
Yeah.
So the quote was, Parker said, this is what was tweeted was, Parker said, if I didn't have an agent, I'd probably still be playing in Austin. Something like that.
Right. Like, but what I'm saying is, even if that hits your ears wrong off rip, like initially, common sense would probably steer you in the right direction pretty quick. You know? Like,
you talking about like interpreting what he means by that?
What he means by that.
He's not going to tell an OU media member, I honestly don't want to be here.
Right. That exactly.
First opportunity. Yeah. No.
Yeah, but what's his face wants to just rip that one quote, throw it out there for every negative person that is sitting on Twitter to get a hold of. And he took it down though. So he must have gotten some backlash.
He did. George provided some context. He did.
Okay.
After, like, he tweeted that, and then he either quote tweeted it or replied to it and said, like, hey, this was in the context of him saying that the agent allowed him to, like, find his market value, allowed him to negotiate, allowed him to find a good landing spot. That's what was meant by, if I didn't have an agent, I'd still be in Austin. Essentially saying, like, I would have gotten hosed by Texas. I think the way that I almost, like, want to read it is, like, I would have maybe not gotten hosed by Texas, but, like, I wouldn't have known how to find the best situation for myself.
Right. He was acknowledging the landscape for what it is.
Yeah.
Parker looked out and said, wow, there's a lot of new things going on right now. There's a lot of contracts being thrown around, a lot of negotiations, a lot of numbers. I've never been here before. I need an agent to help guide me through this. And the agent helped me get here to OU. Anybody who took that as anything else, and I'm not letting Stoya off the hook. Like, that's so stupid. Like, you knew what you were doing. With the first tweet, I'm going to throw this out there and then come back around, in the comments. That's so shady. I
think the problem is that Texas fans got a hold of it. And so they started using it as, dang, Parker's saying he doesn't want to be there. Like,
well, who do you think was going to get a hold of that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think George knew his offense. I think he knew his audience. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. He's behind his keyboard. Watch this. I hate that. Players hate that.
Okay.
Players hate.
That's a good perspective.
Players hate media members that are like that. Like, there was always this one lady who followed. She didn't follow me around, but she was in every little pool of media members. And for the most part, like, I'd say pretty much across the board in terms of OU media, like very respectful, like intentional questions. You get the silly ones here and there, but I mean, if my job was asking questions for a living, like there's gonna be a silly question every now and then, and just charge it to the game and move on. But there's this one lady who would always ask pointed questions, and you knew that they were shady, and you knew that she was gonna post the headline. And if you're a media member watching, or if you're thinking about getting into the media, players hate that, and you'll never form an ally in any locker room asking questions like that, because I don't go to your job and ask you pointed questions in front of your boss that make you look bad. That's so dumb. It'd actually be like pulling up to a family reunion and in front of all of your friends and family asking you the most awkward questions, and then I go post that on social media. Like that's, some media members need to do better, because it's not just about the quickest click or the most impressions or the most money. Like, you're affecting mentalities here and young people's brains.
Reminds me a little bit of you remember any of the Barry Trammell, Russell Westbrook beef?
Oh, very vaguely.
Like it got to the point where Russ would ignore him.
Yeah.
Like every time Barry would go ask him what, he'd just ignore him, or he'd give him like a nothing answer or whatever. It was.
That's what I started doing to that lady.
Pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just even the good questions, like I don't want to talk to you anymore. So go away. Like, gosh. Man. If we were going to like abandon morality in one specific area of the game, I'd post locker room interviews. Players can fire back however they want, and they won't be fined. They won't be charged with anything. It won't be seen as awkward or rude. It feels so icky that players just have to sit there and take weird questions. Anyways, let's move on. If you're just joining us, man, we spent a little bit of time on the starting five. We had a lot of good topics, a lot of good convo, a lot of good interaction in the chat. I appreciate you guys. If you're just joining, my name is Rodney Anderson. This is my live show. Behind the mic, you'll hear Brandon Gibson, BG, as I like to call him. And we take all questions, comments, and concerns about OU-related things, mostly sports. And I'll take questions about other things too, but I'm not a therapist. All right. NFL free agency. We've got some motion happening in the world. A lot of free agents. Off the top of my head, I got Kyler and
Kyler, Joe.
Joe was on my
That's another big one.
off the top of my head, and then I can't remember the name. Yeah, Kyler's going to be interesting because he has like a very unique option to him, which, if at any point in time he could just drop football and go play baseball, another multi-million-dollar career just sitting there as your plan B. Track was my answer earlier to what other sport would I have played. I think if football was never in the picture, I think baseball would have been a bigger sport for me when I was younger. And I think maybe baseball would have stuck around. I could see myself playing baseball. Man, it's almost like a daydream when I think of Rodney playing baseball, because I doubt it comes with 4 ACLs.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not, right? Who knows? I probably would have found a way.
Maybe not the broken neck either.
Yeah, for sure, probably not a broken neck. Yeah. Where do you think Kyler lands? Minnesota?
Resident Bears fan,
Yeah.
Braden says probably Minnesota.
We might have to give Braden a mic too. Bro, I don't know, maybe. I was thinking about that. What's your logic behind that, I guess?
I think, Kevin O'Connell's already a big fan of his.
Okay, Kevin O'Connell being a fan.
There's a big question mark for them right now because they don't know if JJ's the guy. He underperformed last year. Like, now is the perfect time to go get Kyler Murray as a cheap option. I think if anybody can develop him into a Pro Bowler, it's going to be Kevin O'Connell.
resident Bears fan, Braden Ford says the Kevin O'Connell relationship is what that would mostly hinge on. A good opportunity for Kyler to go somewhere where he can. His ceiling's high. I don't think he's reached his potential in the NFL, and so you have a good point. Man, I hope Kyler sticks with football.
I think he will. I think that the whole baseball thing came from, it was Oakland or Vegas A's, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They said like, hey, if he's open to it, we're open to it. But
you stick with the career you're in.
yeah,
I think maybe at the end of his career, if he's like hits up the
I'll swing a few.
the A's, like, hey, y'all still about it?
Yeah,
Yeah, all right, we'll try it.
I'll swing by. See what you guys got going on.
Oh my gosh. Other player, Joe Mixon. I hope another team picks him up. He was out this entire last year.
Yeah.
Some injury. I wasn't even really specific on what it was. I didn't hear. I'll say Joe and his team do a great job of keeping things under wraps, which is how it should be. I hope Joe finds a spot. I know that it's tough for a running back in the league, but if he can get another year or two, I think that's just the fan in me. I'm a fan of Joe Mixon, so I want to see him continue to play. But if he could also choose to hang it up, and he's a relatable, personable guy. Like, he'll find something, but I would love to see Joe Mixon continue to play because, man,
When he's healthy,
he's so good. And that's why you see teams keep taking chances on him.
yeah.
I mean, they'll continue to take chances because, boy, when he's feeling up to it, he can go. There's not many backs in the league that can compete. Neville Gallimore, that's just a
Where'd he go?
The Bears.
The bear.
yeah. I know Braden was. I was actually walking out of my office yesterday, and Braden let me know before I even knew. Hey,
Sources say.
yeah, he was like, "Did you play with Neville Gallimore?" Yep. He was for the Bears now. Oh, I'm sure you do know that. But no, Neville, I love that dude. Neville's so funny, like sneaky funny. Just a dude in the locker room that just good to have around. And I see a lot of clips of him, obviously balling and tearing it up or whatever on the D line. But I also see a bunch of clips of him always like at practice or on the sidelines having fun with his teammates, chilling, kicking it, making jokes, smile on his face. This is the type of guy that you want in the facility. Good to see him getting paid and signing new deals. I'm super excited. He had a great year last year for the Colts, so looking forward to see what he does. All right, do we have anybody else? I don't. Anybody have note?
Is Hollywood looking for a new home?
I guess I didn't realize that he was a free agent this year.
No, he's not free. He's signed a 1-year extension with Kansas City.
Okay, 1 year.
Actually,
Yeah, no. That was last year. Yeah, so he's up for.
So
free
last
agency
year
this
he signed the 1 year extension with Kansas City. This year, okay.
Another dude, hey, get healthy. Love to see him in a productive environment.
Mm-hmm. It was when it seemed like he had really hit stride, no pun intended, and was really living up to like everything that Hollywood is and could be. When he was with the Ravens,
Mm-hmm.
and Lamar was just hitting him deep.
Oh yeah.
Like, what do you do?
Yep.
You gotta respect Lamar.
Yep.
And the run game. You have a amazing O-line, bunch of Pro Bowlers, and then you have Hollywood, sub 4.4, sprinting down the field. Like, I want that situation again for him, because you're totally right. When he's healthy, man, he's so fast. He's so fast. Whenever I think of his speed, I think of 2017 Bedlam.
That slant.
Bruh, slant and just gone.
Yep.
You're not catching him.
Is that the Gus whatever?
Hollywood.
Yeah.
He was always, what a game for this kid.
Did they, if I remember right, did they give him that nickname during that game? Is that right? Because they kept saying he's from Hollywood, Florida, or was he already?
I remember him already having that nickname. Like it was already like, it's not like there was even like this Hollywood, Florida persona. Like he's a pretty quiet dude.
Yep.
Like pretty to himself. You know, you wouldn't know he's there unless he tapped you on the shoulder and spoke up, type of a guy. But I mean, he's loud with his play, so I think that's all that matters. I remember, and maybe guys that were a little bit closer to him knew already, but I didn't even know he had the grill and stuff until it was game day. And then I was like, oh, shoot, this is freaking cold. Like, it's pretty sick. Do you remember the Sports Illustrated cover with Chad Johnson on it? And he had the gold grill and the mohawk?
I don't think so.
When I saw Hollywood for the first time with the grill in while he was playing, like when he scored and he pulled his mouthpiece out and he had the grill in, I thought instantly of Chad Johnson's Sports Illustrated cover. Personalities don't match, but I don't know. I think the play matches. Anyways. All right. Oh, Zip says Trent might be moving.
Getting traded is crazy. No. What I'm saying is Trent Williams played with Sam Bradford. He got drafted that same draft class as them.
Yeah.
And now it's not like, oh, what is he going to get extended for another year like Travis Kelce is right now? Like, is he going to get extended for another year? The conversation is, where is he going to play next year?
Yeah.
It's not a question of if. It's like, oh, where's it going to be? It's crazy.
There's going to be 30 for 30s made of him.
His longevity's unreal and dominant the whole time.
There's got to be more to. He's got secrets. You know
like
what I mean?
Adrian Peterson type secrets.
Yeah, dude. Adrian, that's another dude that.
I bet he could put some cleats on and.
If you gave him a helmet, he'd strap it up.
Yeah.
100%. I've got no doubt about that.
Can you imagine being 37 years old blocking Myles Garrett?
I don't want to imagine that. I'm about to turn 30 this year.
About to be blocking R. Mason Thomas, that quick first step.
You know what's funny, though? Do you think guys like R. Mason look at a guy like Trent Williams and is like, man, yeah, no, I'll make a Bears reference for you. When I was a kid growing up, and I always knew I wanted to be in the NFL or whatever, but I'd think about dudes like Brian Urlacher, and I'd be like, oh, shoot.
I don't want to get tackled by him.
I really want to play in the NFL, but I don't know if I want to meet Brian Urlacher in the A gap, you know, or like Ray Lewis, like.
Or it's even like a Fred Warner type of guy right now.
Yeah.
Been in the league forever. But he still goes out there and dominates.
Yeah, do you think R. Mason is like? I respected every single one of those dudes that I mentioned. Just, you know, they were way older than me, so I never got to play against them or anything like that. I was hurt too, and I just think there were still some dudes in the league when I, got drafted that if I was healthy enough, I would have met. And it's like, man, I've been watching you since I was a kid, and to play against you is crazy. I'm honored, one, but I'm also a little bit intimidated. Like, you're Ray Lewis, like you're Brian Urlacher, you're Ed Reed, dude. One guy I didn't want to see coming from the secondary, Ed Reed. That's man.
Do you think young players have to kind of have a little bit of that chip on their shoulder, though? Like, even if they're going up against an all-time legend, like, do you think they have to walk out there with the kind of mentality of, like, old man? Like,
The question is,
kicking out here still.
like, what kind of mentality does a young guy have to go against the older, like the vets, guys like that?
Is it more so just like welcome to the new era, this is a new generation of players, like you're at coach, or is it more so?
I think, like, I say I'd have been intimidated for like Ray Lewis, for example. I say I'd be intimidated to go against him, but at the same time, like, I'm a competitor too, and you may have been here for longer than me, but I also worked really hard to get here. I walked the same path, and so I want to. Maybe it's a chip on the shoulder, but it's more so like I want to prove something. Like, not too many backs are gonna like put Ray Lewis on his back, and so like that's not the goal. But the goal is to be fearless and run in there with your shoulders down and like, meet him where he's at. And so like those are the hits where you pop up, and then after the game, you go shake his hand, and he's like, hey, I'm looking out for you. I'm a fan of your game, or so. Like that's the utmost. Like if you have a player from the opposite side of the ball come up to you and say, hey, I respect your game. Like you came in there and you stuck your head in there. Like I appreciate that. And like that's what this game is about. That is like, okay, I just earned the acceptance of my peers or whatever. And so I don't know if it's more so like proving something that it is, wanting to like have a chip. Like I don't know what my chip against any of those guys would have been. But all right. What do we got next, BG?
We'll finish up talking about the money, the quarterback money.
Oh, bruh.
That can be how we end it.
Yeah.
Zip talked about Tua went to the Falcons.
Yeah.
It's a funny dynamic because Tua got released. The Dolphins then take, a $99 million cap hit, which I think I saw was like a record high.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest cap hit that anyone. So, like, meaning that money's still on their books for next year.
I would hate to have a $99 million.
Just dead money. Right? That's an expense, and we're getting no value from it.
Yeah.
Which they may have thought that anyway, I guess, with him on their roster. But then they turned around, signed a backup, basically a career backup, Malik Willis. It's like a 3-year, $30 million a year deal. Like $100 million over 3 years. After playing 6 games. Starting 6. Appeared in 6.
Yeah. I mean,
he was a Titans guy for a bit. That didn't work out. So he went up, he backed up Jordan Love in Green Bay.
What do you think the conversation with their CFO was? Like, hey, we want to let go of Tua. CFO is probably like, I quit.
CFO's like, oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
I want to let him go, and then I want to basically fill that gap with more. An equal amount.
Yeah, let's go. We went into debt. Hear me out. Let's go further into debt. Where is all this money coming from? Does anybody out here know where all that money comes from? Like, I get, are TV contracts that big?
I think they're huge, yeah.
Or we got to be talking billions of dollars. What is like, everybody says, oh yeah, the TV contracts. Well, that's where all the money is, the TV contract. What's the dollar amount?
The NFL's current 11-year media rights deals are valued at approximately $113 billion.
So $430 million for each team in national TV revenue each year. So that's where the money comes from.
Yeah, and then you're going to have things like sponsorships.
Yeah.
Ticket sales.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you get into the nitty-gritty of, we were talking earlier, concessions.
Yeah, the whole business side of sports.
A beer costs $15,
Infrastructure, yeah.
So that they can pay for Tua's IOU.
The most expensive hot dog this next year is going to be found in Miami's football stadium.
And just, own it. Hey, I'll get 2 Tua dogs, please. Like, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Just, hey, man, we got to pay that bill off somehow.
You're right, dude.
Third-party events like concerts and stuff that are in that stadium, those proceeds also go towards the team.
Oh, I didn't know that. Braden Ford just said that any entertainment events that happen in team stadiums, there's a portion of revenue that goes to the team as well. So, I mean, yeah, multiple streams of income makes sense. I could get it. That's just wild to go that far into debt and be like, yeah, sign the next guy. We got it. If anybody knows how to attain that much money. How about you come be a guest on the pod or on the live show? We'll talk about that. It'll be the last live show I ever do. And then we'll go get super rich. Maybe we'll host a new live show from the Bahamas.
From the Bahamas.
Brandon's not down with this idea.
We were asked the other day, this may be a good question, how much, like what's the amount of money, one time sum of money, to where we wouldn't see you at work the next day? For Deshaun Watson, it was $250 million. Yeah, got that guaranteed, and then hasn't played since.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I'd take $1 million.
$1 million?
I mean, if I just got tax-free $1 million liquid cash in my account tomorrow, I'm gonna go do something with that. I won't be here. You know what I mean?
Like, good, and you'd be good. Period.
I mean, so is the question leave your job and stop working forever, like to retire, or how much money do you need to just leave this job?
No, not current. Yeah, how much would it take for you to say, all right, I'm done working?
Oh. $5 million. Like $5 million, I feel like comfortably I could instantly set up cash flow. I could instantly set up investments and like certain, like all the Roths and the things. Still have, I'm not a flashy dude. Neither is the people that I spend all of my time with, family members, friends, and all that. So I don't know. I'd probably $5 million, set everything up, and then just live comfortably in the country.
Geno back to the Jets.
Geno back to the Jets.
He was good at West Virginia.
He was.
You guys didn't cross. He was before you. Yeah.
I never. Yeah. Oh.
Man, that last year, some of the windows he was throwing in was
tight,
unreal.
Like he's one of those QBs. Like when he's in groove, he's making throws. Just like, I would have never seen that. And like only dudes with like that kind of vision would see it. How much money do you need to leave to quit working?
If anybody's out there offering, Rodney said 5, so I'd say like 2.5. You save some money and give it to me instead.
I mean, I said $1 million first. It'd take like I don't know. I have to crunch some numbers to get my exact number, but I think I could. If somebody just dropped $1 million in my account, I think I'd probably leave this job and figure something out that is a little bit more passive.
Yeah.
Or if somebody wants to give me that 5-piece, accelerate that plan and be in an even better spot. But what would y'all do with $1 million? Think about it. Next Tuesday, we'll talk about it. I appreciate everybody for participating in this show. It's been a good one. I feel like we touched a lot of good topics. Yeah, I don't know. We'll look out for this. Drops pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Watch it back on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday. We got Pro Day happening this Thursday. We'll probably do something around Pro Day, I would assume.
Yeah, you'll see Rodney's face somewhere.
My face will be somewhere around Pro Day. And then also on Thursday, the Double Take drops. Yep. So be on the lookout for that. I appreciate everybody that chimed in with their questions, comments, and concerns. It's always fun hearing from you guys. This has been Rodney Anderson Live. Boomer.
Sooner.